Hi, everyone. Jacqueline Foster here. Welcome back to another episode of the Paralegal Mastery Lounge. I want to apologize. Well, not really apologize because I'm sure none of you even noticed. I did not post last week. Reason being was it was the middle of two holidays. My son was home from school all week. I wanted to spend the week focusing on him and spending that time with him. He stayed home with me basically his whole life prior to pre-K, from newborn all the way up to 5. And so I was so used to that. I built my business around that, having him at home. I didn't, every day was juggling a bit of work, a bit of him. And I just wanted to enjoy that week of not stressing too much about work. I know I've been pumping so much content out there as it is, especially that last episode was so very long from our webinar. I'm sure it took you a couple of times in the car to get through it all. That was partially the reason. The other reason is I want to let you know that next week you are getting an episode every single day. I am running a mini series, and if you want to catch the live, make sure to go jump in on LinkedIn or the Facebook group. There'll be, all the links to get there are in the show notes below. Jump in live. I'm running a mini Freelance Paralegal 101 series. So every day at 11 Central Time, between January 8th and January 12th, I will be going live for about 15-20 minutes with some room for questions at the end to cover some topics. Now, let's jump in really quick to what those topics are going to be so you know for sure if this is something you'd like to join. I designed this mini series, this mini webinar series for those that still might be on the fence. I got a lot of yellow comments in my webinar, meaning that they really wanted to freelance. They just needed to know a bit more about what it entails, what they're in for, all the above. And so I wanted to create this mini series just to give you that little extra push. And the reason why I want to push you so badly, and truly, is actually something I'm going to talk about today in this podcast episode. I'm going to run you through a testimonial and show you some actual proof of what can be created if you just make the intention to start in a right way and treat your business like a business from day one, which is what the Freelance Paralegal Roadmap course is going to do for you. But this 5-day mini series is going to help you just sort of kind of get some of that proof that all these things lining up is what's going to create a very strong business foundation for you, whether you are looking to transition from full-time employment inch by inch into freelancing and you only have a little bit of space, here and there to build this business and to start taking on clients. You can't just up and get into it overnight. Or you are ready to just up and get into it overnight. Maybe you're at home right now, not working. Maybe you're in between jobs. Like, take control. Just start freelancing. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. So on the mini series, day one, we're going to go through the introduction to freelance paralegal success, the transformative paralegal roadmap, how it all is tying into creating a solid business for you that is scalable. Day two, we're going to talk about designing that business blueprint by crafting the strong foundation for your paralegal business, setting those clear short and long-term goals, and the importance of scalability within that chosen business model and connecting that all to those short and long-term goals. Day three on Wednesday next week, we're going to talk about finding your North Star client. It's a really important component to it all. So I wanted to fit in some time in the week for that. We're going to talk about the concept of that ideal client persona and how you're going to need to be creating a service offering that aligns perfectly with your client's needs. Day four, we're going to be talking about financial freedom as a freelance paralegal, the pricing strategies, the setting realistic financial goals, financial dream fulfillment, the insights into achieving financial success as a freelance paralegal, and really start peeling that apart so I can get you motivated and understanding that it's not a pipe, like it's not some fictitious dream that we're chasing. It's actually something that can really happen for you. Day five, we're going to look at building your brand and marketing magic, talking about the significance of a memorable brand and professional online presence, the basic of sales call readiness, and content marketing consistency. Now, this is all pulling from what I'll be teaching you within the Freelance Paralegal Roadmap course, which, by the way, is still discounted for a limited time. You do, if you're getting paid on Friday, you have until then to get jumped in and get that discount, but make sure you're purchasing it while it's 20% off. It's $207. The content is incredibly valuable for that low of a price. There's payment plan options. So go check it out. Don't worry too much about costs. It's not some outrageous amount. I know people get worried about courses being in the thousands. That's not how I like to structure this one specifically, especially because I know I'm also trying to convince you guys that freelancing is not just a fictitious dream. Like, you can make it happen. So I wanted to give you a low risk option to just give it a shot. So that is coming up and is sort of my apology for missing one day. I'm giving you 5 next week. 5 little mini series. You should be able to listen to all of them in the car on the commute to work, or in your morning with your cup of coffee, or however you've been consuming my content. All right. So I today wanted to dedicate this episode, because we have so much coming up. I wanted to just take a brief moment to dedicate today's episode on reviewing a testimonial I received from a former course member. She took my Start, Build, Scale course back in 2021. It's the exact same framework, actually the one that I've made this time around, exact same framework, but so much more. 3 more years of experience. At the time I created Start, Build, Scale, my business had generated 100,000. Now my business generated 500,000 in its 3rd year. So I have a lot more knowledge to give now than I did then, which will make this even more kind of impactful for you to read or to listen to this testimonial. So I want to read through this testimonial and then talk about a little bit around it, like breaking it apart, and how this person, Miss Heather Pickett, founder and CEO of Propel Paralegal Services. Again, thank you so much, Heather, for sharing this testimonial with me. I absolutely appreciate it. I'm going to start picking apart as best as I can to describe how she was able to reach these successes in a very basic form, in a very motivating form, in a non-complex form. So let's get jumping right into that testimonial. So those on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. Those on the podcast, you'll just have to listen to me read it. Let's jump in. Heather said, "Participating in Jacqueline Foster's Start, Build, Scale course was a pivotal moment in my journey as a founder of Propel Paralegal Services. Jacqueline's comprehensive approach, combining invaluable advice, practical guidance, and a wealth of knowledge, is precisely what I needed shortly after launching my virtual paralegal business. Her insights are not just theoretical. They are deeply rooted in real-world applications, essential for anyone aspiring to start and thrive in the freelance or virtual paralegal sector. This course doesn't just teach you the ropes, it empowers you to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence and skill. I highly recommend it to anyone poised to make their mark in the virtual legal services industry." Again, thank you so much, Heather. I am humbled by that review, and it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you soar your business. Now, speaking of how she soared her business, I want to show you it. I don't want to just tell you that, she was able to build this incredible business. I want to show you. I want to demonstrate it. So here, again, for my YouTube watchers, you'll be able to see podcasts. Just take my word for it or go confirm it on the YouTube video. Here is an infographic or a graphic of Heather's current team. She published this. Sorry, Heather, I stole it from your LinkedIn. You had it public, so I didn't think you'd mind. Also, great job. This is the team that Heather has since went on to develop for Propel Paralegal Services. She has a team of 20 professionals since 2021, August of 2021, mind you. The year is almost over. We're getting into Q4 pretty soon here. At the end of 2021 until the end of 2023, this is her team. 20 professionals, ranging from her as a CEO to senior bankruptcy paralegals, to bankruptcy managers, to sales managers, to executive assistants, estate planning paralegals, and everything in between. Has a senior legal assistants in here, all sorts of titles within her company. This is the proof that you might need with that testimonial to what she went on to build over the years. Now, before I jump into reading you a few more testimonials from my website, I want to talk a little bit about the concept of the success that people find within freelancing, and what is the one one ingredient that everybody has in common. Everybody that has built a successful freelance paralegal business, whether they continued to freelance and charge premium rates for themselves, or they went on to create groups and teams of paralegals, or they went on, like me, to create agencies and start consulting and become a speaker and all those things. What is one thing they all have in common is they treated their freelance paralegal endeavor like a business from day one. They treated themselves like entrepreneurs from day one. She started before she took my course. Very shortly after she took my course, and she sat down every day and plugged away at creating a business model that was long-term sustainable, long-term scalable, to be able to go from just herself to 20 people in the matter of 2 years, right? That's incredible. So many people say, I want to freelance. I think I'm just going to start, but I don't really need all this fluff. I don't need a website. I don't need a social media presence. I'm just going to kind of get the word out there and see if I can attract a few clients. What ends up happening there is you don't see any return on that, or you maybe get a client or what have you. And yeah, there are those situations where people do kind of fall into freelancing on accident over the course of 20 years. But if you want quick results, if this is a change you need in your life, like yesterday, like you're going into 2024 and are saying at the end of this year, I want to look back and say, I absolutely changed the course of my financial picture, my personal freedom, my career. If you want that within a year, you have to, from day one, treat it like a business. And now I'm not saying, oh yeah, go ahead, quit your job, be all in, blind faith, just do this, jump in. I have a episode on going from an employee to a freelancer inch by inch and how you can do that. But even in that episode, I talk about treating your business like a business from day one. And what that really entails is everything that is in the freelance paralegal roadmap course, because that's exactly how I've designed it. I designed this because I know how paralegals will sit down. I know because I was one of them, sit down and they just don't know where to begin. They don't know how to start. What do I focus on? Do I pick a logo first? Do I pick a name first? Do I build a website? Like, how do I do this? Should I focus on blogging or should I focus on direct outreach? I have this amount of time. What really should I be doing? There's imposter syndrome that comes into play. There's fear paralysis that comes into play. There's embarrassment issues that come into play based on, is people back home or somebody, seeing you trying to do this and you haven't quite gotten there yet. It's so easy for us to demonstrate our successes, but it's hard to demonstrate us trying to get there, right? It's hard for us to show the world the progress we're trying to make when we haven't quite arrived yet. And I know that because I had that fear. And unfortunately, you have to put yourself out there because it's an online business, right? So online can really be accessed by anybody. That's actually why I stuck to LinkedIn in the beginning, was because I didn't know anybody on LinkedIn. I had no connections there on LinkedIn. So I thought I was sort of safe, from the public, from the people I wasn't trying to target, to go ahead. And thank God I did that for that reason, because I've learned the algorithm of LinkedIn and the immense potential LinkedIn has. No, LinkedIn's like my jam, right? When before I had no idea what I was doing on it. But treating it like a business from day one it doesn't mean that you have to be spending 8 hours a day working on building this. It doesn't mean that you have to completely uproot your entire life and just commit to this business, like you see on TV when one spouse has a midlife crisis to open a pizza shop and then they just say like, well, bills don't matter. Okay. Bills still matter. We still need to make money. A lot of you might be carrying health insurance for your family that you need, and you can't quit that until you replace and double, maybe triple your salary to be able to afford all of those things. But treating it like a business just means working on it in a structured way that you're not just throwing spaghetti at a wall and seeing if something will stick. You're not just making a post here and there, hoping that somebody in the masses will notice you and reach out to you. Now, that sometimes happens. In fact, that's how I got my first client, was I just threw a post on a blog. I think I actually hired somebody to write. Never done that since, but at the time I just hired somebody to write it. It was like she charged me $20. because it was like a pre-written thing, and I threw it out there, and I luckily got a client from that. That was one client. He's never sent me any other referrals. It was a spaghetti at the wall type of a situation, which doesn't build longevity. It doesn't build recurring clients. It doesn't build referrals. It doesn't build brand and authority and expertise and familiarity, right, in the niche, in the industry. So really what we have to be doing from day one is working on our business in a sequential way that is like building blocks, one upon the other, that eventually at the end of it, you have this established product to get out there into the world and to demonstrate authority within. And that's a lot why, not to deviate, but the way I structured my paralegal entrepreneur planner is in a compounding way. We have big goals, and then we have action steps, and then we have sub actions within those little action steps. So we're taking big picture goals and initiatives and breaking them down into very micro refined check the box type of goals, which is awesome when you either have a full-time job or, again, you don't really know what you're doing, how you're going to be doing it. Is to talk about that testimonial from Heather and to demonstrate how she made it possible to scale from 2021 to 2023, team of 1 to a team of 20, by treating her business like a business every single day from day one. Just treat it like a business. And it's okay if you've already started and you feel like, well, crap, I didn't do it from business day one. No better time than now to start. Treating it like a business from day one, your future self will thank you for it, no matter where you're at in your freelancing journey. If you're 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door, I don't know if I want to even put a half of a foot in the door, but I kind of do. Your future self is going to thank you for treating this business like a business from day one. I promise you that. And when I say it, branding and all these things take time, but 2 years for her, 2 years for her to have 20 paralegals working for her. That's no time at all, right? 3 years for me to build 1 year for me to build a 6-figure business, 3 years for me to build a $500,000 business. That the proof is right here that it is so possible. And if you need more, I want to run through a couple more testimonials. And now these testimonials, funny enough, were actually from my very, very, very first course I did. I think it was in the spring of 2021 is when I did it. I'm going to share my screen again for my YouTube watchers, so you know I'm reading real testimonials here on my website. This was in spring of 2021 that I did this one. Wanted to say how thankful I am for this group and course. I haven't officially launched yet and have already booked 2 clients in the last week through referrals. You know what that is right there? That's intention. And she manifested that into her life by setting the intention of what she wanted. She went ahead, built the thing, barely launched her business, still treating it like a business, and it just started happening. It can be that simple, right? Next is, since start of COVID-19, I have been attempting to make my dream of taking my paralegal skills freelance a reality. Within just the first few core lessons of this course, I was implementing the simple tips and tricks, and we were being taught and was getting instant results. This course is amazing. I learned real techniques that I could implement immediately in order to go from a subcontractor to getting clients on my own at the rate I needed. See the theme here. Immediately getting results. Immediately getting results, because that's a key ingredient paralegals miss when they start their freelancing business. Treating it like a business. The moment you treat it like a business, you get instant results, because, as you know, if you watch that webinar, listen to that webinar on start a freelance paralegal business in 2024, how I talk, there's a huge market demand for freelance paralegals. It's huge, right? So we need more paralegals to just get up and start the thing so they can immediately get these results, connect with their ideal clients, and start serving their industry in a way that gives them an incredible return. Here's another one from Miss Monica. Jacqueline is willing to pass on so many valuable lessons that she learned the hard way so that we can learn from her experiences. She is also very accessible and responsive, probably too responsive. I'm like really attached to my phone, unfortunately. I can't recommend this course highly enough. Another one, launching a business can be scary, and this course has been a great confidence boost, and I highly recommend it. Yes, it can be scary, Jeremy, because I remember how many booklets I put underneath my bed, like booklets on booklets on booklets, notebooks of wanting to start this business and then terrifying myself out of it. Another one, wanted to say how thankful I am for this group and course. I haven't officially launched yet and have already booked 2 clients in the last week. Oh, I already went there. So we went all the way through. There's more testimonials somewhere on my website. If you want to, feel free to go read them if you need a little bit more proof. So this episode is a mixture and actually a cry out to you paralegals that are considering freelancing. You're considering freelancing, but you have these hesitations. You feel, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is what I want. I think it's what I want. I don't really know how to start. I'd like to freelance on the side. I'd like to just freelance nights and weekends, maybe an extra 5 hours a week for some trip money or savings or extra, what have you, whatever it is that you want to do, pay off debt, whatever it may be. I know these paralegals look at this and say, this is just a little bit more than what I need right now, because all I need is to just kind of freelance casually. Though that will never get you solid. You will burn out. I fully believe that you will burn out if you approach your freelancing that way, and you won't do it. You'll find a different, like, network marketing or something, which, no, not dissing on that, disclaimer, not knocking on that. You'll find something different that's just not going to give you the potential that this industry can give you. And you have everything you need right here, right now, to just start. Start implementing the techniques and the guidelines and the roadmap that I'm putting in front of you, and you will get results. You will build a business. You will build a business that's going to be able to be scaled into the 6 figures. Now, whether you take it there, that is on you to continue to stay consistent, but I am establishing something for you within this roadmap to be able to do that and to get to those 6 figures, to get to whatever version of success and riches that is for you. There's actually a quote from the book, You're a Badass at Making Money. It's a really great book, but I wanted to read it to you today because this is what it reminds me of, is that the definition of rich for this author is to be able to afford all the things and experiences required to fully experience your most authentic life. So maybe 6 figures isn't what you want. Maybe 6 figures is what you want. Maybe it's multiple 6 figures. Maybe it's 7 figures. Maybe it's having so much money that, like, you don't even know what to do with it. Whatever that may be, you will achieve it if you set your mind to it. And if you treat this like something serious from day one, and you say, this is serious, I'm going to put effort into it, you will be able to achieve that here. And I promise you that. So if this was the little boost you needed and you're ready, go grab that course while it's on discount. I think it makes it like 57 cents a day for the year if you buy it on sale right now, or 57, something absurd. It's $207, self-paced. It's everything you need in it to build this business up, and to stay accountable for it. I also recommend you grab that Paralegal Entrepreneur Planner from Amazon. It does not come with the course. It is an Amazon purchase that you can put together with your initiatives and keep yourself on track this year. If you're really motivated, you can fly through this course in a month, maybe even less, and you're going to start implementing and getting results right away. So thank you guys so very much for listening to today's episode. Again, next week, it's going to be a little bit informal because you're going to be getting my recordings all next week from the mini series, from Freelance Paralegal 101 mini series, which is coming next week. So every single day you'll be getting a notification from me as my subscriber to my podcast or my YouTube channel. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Subscribe, turn that little bell on, set the notifications on so that you don't miss anything coming up. Thank you guys so very much. And until next time, have great days ahead of you.